Hello. In this Roll for Crit playback, things will get dark as we play Gloom.
Yes, it's very sad, very tragic. Each of us will have a family of 5, and we'll be attempting to give our families the saddest possible story while making the other players' lives happier, and vice versa. We'll see how it works out for us. I'm Jonathan Estes.
And I'm O'Keeler, and this is Roll for Crit playback. We have our miserable family set up, and as according to the rules, who's ever currently having the worst day goes first. I believe that goes to Jonathan, whose laptop decided to not work anymore.
Oh, that's all right. I'll take it. I think we're all having pretty bad days.
Yes, but I think you have to peak. We can actually label something specific for you.
Mine will cost me some money. Best Buy later. Okay. Well, guess what?
Oh.
Good things are in store for Cousin Mordecai.
Oh no! He's my least favorite.
Because Cousin Mordecai, he went to this big old party. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of food there. You might call it a feast.
Okay.
And he was discovered for being the best eater that there was by a local paper. He found fame at a feast.
Damn.
And that's what happened to him.
Okay.
Enjoy, you get 10 happiness out of that.
All right.
And then unfortunately though, this one's sad. This one's really sad. My butler, Butterfield, he went mildly mad.
Only mildly.
I mean, I don't think I need any explanation. He's a butler.
Yeah.
Since I've played this, I have to discard a card every time I play a modifier, including this one.
Oh, that's not...
It's a little annoying.
Now, as we all know, Neil's family actually works in the circus.
Right. In real life, well, in this game, what's his family doing?
Actually, they work in the circus. And it's sort of funny, because they work in the circus, Samson actually fell in love with the circus again.
Aww.
You know, he's depressed, but then he fell in love. He got charmed by the circus and felt so happy he was part of the circus.
That card was made for you.
Unfortunately, I can't say the same for one of the visitors to the circus.
Might actually be.
Grogger, Grogger was feeling a little down because Melissa doesn't really like him because Grogger's made to be her bride, and she's like, I don't want to have you, so she's not currently making her own show called
There's
the
some real
Slugars.
weird stuff going on in your family.
So Grogger decided to go to the circus. And being a teddy bear with a brain sticking out, some of the circus freaks mocked him. So he was mocked by midgets, which is pretty bad considering he's even smaller than them.
That's all. They should have said laughed at by little people. Just say it.
Oh.
All right, and that's what's happening so
Be
far.
careful.
It's all in good fun.
Alessandra DeVille. No relation to Cruella. Last name's DeVille.
Okay.
The illustrated lady, unfortunately, had to lose her left hand to gangrene
That's one of the worst ways to lose this.
because she was galled by gangrene. There you go.
I get it.
That works.
I see.
Mark. Willem. He met a nice lady and got married.
Oh.
There you go. It's a nice, cute little story. We all know what marriage is. I don't need to go into it.
Okay. I'm doing pretty good here, which is pretty bad. So,
Yeah, your family is real happy.
yeah, I don't like this. Balthazar, right? Being a dog and all is chilling with his, his lady dogs. You know what they're called? Can I say that word? You can say it on TV.
I think everybody knows.
All right,
I
fine.
think they all know.
So he's chilling with them. He's about to get it on. Right? He's like, getting ready for it. But out of nowhere, he gets stung. He's wounded by wasps right on his, what.
Oh boy.
So that's pretty bad.
That's rough.
Yeah.
His ear?
No.
Oh, I didn't know. I
Oh.
don't know that.
You know what people use to,
Ew. Oh. My twins here, my adorable tots. Unfortunately, they're a little mischievous, a little rambunctious. They like to explore, they like to go out into the woods, have a good time. But you know what lives in the woods?
Koalas.
Porcupines. Porcupines. They ran into a bunch of porcupines, all homeward bound style. Got pierced by porcupines. It's real bad news.
Wow.
Real bad news.
That's not good news.
Those poor twins. I'll play this unpleasant surprise. Remove top modifier from Grogger there.
He got over the midgets.
Yeah, they didn't hurt his pride too bad.
All right.
And then I'll draw back.
Does it really say midgets on it?
Yes,
It does.
That's pretty bad.
All right. So
Yeah, kind
It's
of.
not that bad.
It's like saying
All right.
an
Saying
equivalent.
Melissa's TV show, The Slogars, was a huge success. So much so that she attracted the attention of famous pop star Mr. East. And they were wonderfully wed.
All right.
By playing this, I may immediately discard or draw 2 cards. So I will draw 2.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Nothing can end well in this game, as there was a twist of fate. Replace the top modifier on a character, on a character, so I guess it doesn't have to be mine, but I'm doing it on mine,
Okay.
with 1 from my hand, and I keep this.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. So what's happening to them now instead? That's a good 20 points you got.
Well,
rid
you
of.
see,
Bouncing right there.
and when they tried to get married, as you know, they were highly against Mr. East and Melissa's wedding, as no one likes little girl horse weddings.
No, they don't.
So they were chased by the church.
Remember the old days when little girls could just marry
And-
horses?
It was simpler,
It was a different
a little worse.
Hopefully
slightly
things will turn
worse.
out better for Melissa and Mr. East.
Because Alessandra Deville had lost her hand to gangrene, the poor woman, she was tying a tie around her neck one day and lost her balance, and her arm was forced behind her. But because she didn't have another hand to help her from the tie that was choking around her neck, she was choked by a tie.
Wow!
Oh,
the
she's-
first death.
She's dead.
Flip the card beneath this card. It is this choose the seaside with an additional
Yep.
10.
So pretty much we'll
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, no, that's a lady, isn't it?
This one?
The one next to it.
This one?
No, the other next.
That's a lady.
Yes, that one.
Goodies are the nefarious nanny.
She went to a party, had some wine, and had a really good time.
All right.
She's in a good
you
mood.
need discard.
Discard a card.
Balthazar, having sustained massive injuries to his member.
What do you have against dogs?
Well, just this one in
Okay,
particular,
alright.
because this is a sad story. Because you know what, he thought there was no other way to fix his problems besides turning to the bottle. He just had to drink everything away. He couldn't handle it. He drowned himself in rum. Man, it's just if you could see the look on his face.
I wish I could see it.
Yeah, he actually went up to old Dam over here. Right? Old Dam. If there's no E, so it's old Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks
so,
like it.
and he kind of
The old dom.
he kind of did some stuff to her that would give her sores afterward.
You got
So-
a weird. It's like a gross family.
Yeah.
Man.
These families are very interesting.
Gloom comes to us from Atlas Games, who are well known for other games, including Once Upon a Time, which is a storytelling game, as is this really at its heart, although there are some more mechanics underneath the storytelling. And I guess that's where we can start in discussing it, because that's really what separates it from other games. In the rulebook, they've mentioned that storytelling is, in fact, optional. But as you'll see in this video, and I think we've experienced in our play sessions, that's really the heart and soul of the game.
Yeah, I think you lose a lot if you're just like, I put that on him. Put that on him.
Right. It's really
It actually does become depressing.
right. The gameplay itself is really just kind of it's like a take that game in the most pure sense. Like that's all you're doing is hurting other people and trying to help yourself. But there's I covered this up. No, you made it. I make it worse again. No, I make it better.
Right, but really the fun comes like when my story, like as he was going into the park, he fell down a well, and he lit himself on fire.
Right.
Like you actually say why.
So I guess the question is this a case of storytelling? Does it matter that the gameplay itself is sort of weak or arguably non-existent? I think
No, I think the gameplay's there, and I think it's a really good casual game that really fits, because I think there's enough gameplay, hypothetically, really if you do like some gameplay and strategy, you can get something there. Like there's something for you to nibble on, but if you were to play without the stories, then you would feel empty.
Yeah, I think the storytelling is distracting enough that you're not thinking about it. You're not like it's enough of a blend.
Yeah, which is what makes Gloom so great. It's because like on their own you probably would be like, but together they sort of like fill the holes that each one of them have, making
Right.
that perfect fun mechanic of the covering the cards and then being like, you were mauled by manatees.
It's the difference from Once Upon a Time, which is there is some
You've
stuff.
actually
but
played that. I haven't.
It's
but-
much more pure storytelling, although there is a system to it, kind of. But then there's also in this, there is some interesting stuff with the different, I want to call them sets, but the different symbols you
Skull,
can get.
like the
There is
arrows.
some strategy in trying to kind of the
Certain
order
symbols.
you play things in matters.
Like there was one moment when I actually killed off my person right away because I had a heart symbol on them.
Right, yeah, different things like that. So yeah, even though the basics are very, very simple, there's like you said, there's enough. You can kind of go a little deeper with things. And then, I mean, if you got those, we can talk about those cards, which
And
are
one
the
thing
other big thing. Yeah.
I love transparency cards. I think it's awesome. I know I guess some might call it a gimmick, but I think it's a fantastic one.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a gimmick, it's not like because it doesn't directly affect the game. I feel like, which could be argued about exactly for why it's a gimmick, but I feel like usually a gimmick is like something you have to do or like a mechanic that feels gimmicky. This is just a nice
the gimmick
aesthetic
isn't the
choice.
only reason for the game. I think that's what it's not like. It's
Right.
just a generic space game, but it comes with little flags.
The game could, although now that I think about it, I guess the gameplay does kind of depend on it because the way that you cover up the numbers.
There is another way, like just stacking cards. It'd be a little bit
or
different,
tokens or something.
But I do think this makes it a lot,
It's much more straightforward,
and it helps with making it simpler for you to just understand things.
and it's just more fun to you feel like things are you can actually see the things changing and occurring.
And not only that, for a strategic point of view, you can think a lot more like, okay, I can cover up that you're minus 15 with a 0 or something.
Right, 'cause depending on where the numbers
Like
are.
I know for you, like there's a point when I actually covered up some of your negatives with other negatives, but they were smaller.
Right, and that's the other thing is like sometimes you want to play a negative card on someone because it has a bad effect. So there's a more strategic choice in
There is
that.
also another reason.
Mm-hmm.
This is more for strategic, and where you don't see it because I don't think anyone in our group really cares.
This
about
isn't the game that you're gonna like dig
Well,
deep
no,
into.
I mean, if someone who I can only think of one person who might even think about digging deep enough.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom symbol is actually less likely to appear on a card.
Oh,
So you could think more about strategy placing cards that way as well.
right.
But once again, with our group, we're more just like, hey guys, he went swimming and guess what he found? It wasn't manatees.
Right. No,
He got kicked downstairs.
that is the fun of it, and the art is very Edward Gorey, Tim Burton looking.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, it's those stories. It strikes a good balance of dark and light.
Now, my twins, as you know, they have a history of not understanding the dangers of animals, which is why they continued to play in the woods in spite of their porcupine injuries, and they grizzly manned it. They were eaten by bears.
Oh, wow.
They are dead. Real rough. But I mean, for that bear, that's like a McDouble.
So the bear gets a good point. He's happy.
Yeah, the bear's really into that.
What if there was a legacy version of this and like the whoever like if you kill them then there's like a story about them and you have to kill the killer.
Oh, what?
Yes. Hate to tell you this, but the nanny here who was diverted by drink, she was diverted by drink a little too much. Some officers caught up with her and she was actually put into prison.
As luck would have it, the jail Goodwin was put in
Yeah.
had a marriage program with a life sentence inmates. And she fell in love with Mr. Bojangles.
What's with you in love?
Who is currently on trial for bojangling too hard.
Whoa.
I've been there before.
So
Not a
she
discussion you want here in court.
Well, alright.
was happily wed.
Oh boy, she's had some real ups and downs.
However, as I said, Bojangles was on death row.
Really?
Oh yeah, so there's
And-
bad things in her future.
Oh, no, she was determined to stay with Bojangles.
More signs happening to her?
Oh yeah, so she already heard about the bad stuff with Melissa. So she knew that if he was gonna die, so was she. So till death do us part. play an untimely death on any character with a heart symbol, regardless of their value.
Oh. So because it's you can do it out of turn because it's in a...
Yes. So she jumped off the building. In order, right as
While
he
she was really happy.
At least she died happy, you know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the important part.
I mean, not good for this.
She died with Bojangles in her heart.
Mr. Giggles was having problem with money and his house.
Just
a lot of
one?
things.
Okay.
First of all, he's a skull that plays a clown. He's not recognized as an American citizen because of this.
He's just a skull?
Yes.
Not
Well, he's a skeleton.
Oh, okay.
Or a skull
Wait,
with,
so is he
with a
really
vacuum
dead?
cleaner for a body.
He's reanimated.
But unfortunately, when some creditors came by to talk to him, they didn't recognize that he was a human being, accidentally ran him over, so he was crippled by creditors.
I see, literally.
Yes.
Okay.
The root of all evil. Draw one card from each opponent's hand
Well, what?
and immediately play those you wish. Keep the rest. You must have a living character with this icon to play this card, which I just played. I'm playing this one here. So, Darius Dark, unfortunately because he is the Sinister Ringmaster, keyword Sinister,
Okay.
he obviously, look at these guys. These are not welcoming people of the circus. There's a skeleton, there's a crow with a skull. I don't even know what's going on there. But these are not welcoming people. So, unfortunately, Darius Dark was shunned by society. His business is not doing well. And Thumbelisa, the diminutive diva.
Diminutive?
Yes. Unfortunately,
She's one of the people who mocked.
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately, she was starved in a storm. I don't know how to make that into
You
a
were
story.
stuck in a storm, therefore
and
you...
starved?
And yes, because she didn't have any tools.
You did your best.
That's a very specific situation
Yeah.
compared to like shunned by society.
It's tough. You gotta get that alliteration.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Dog. What does the dog do? What
I
is
don't
his
care.
profession? All right. Well, the dog did some cool tricks in town. He did some non-adult tricks,
Oh, they're pretty adult.
and he became the toast of the town.
Oh,
Ooh.
Wow.
that ruins my entire plan. So I can move an untimely death from a dead character to a living character with a negative self-worth score. So, you know, the old dame, you know, she's like covered in oil
old
and
dame.
like whatever, like sores and stuff. She runs
I
across
got
this,
scared for a second, like,
what's that
did
person's
I
name?
die? Alyssa was still alive.
Yeah, she performed CPR with her sore infected mouth and got caught on the tie while doing that. Ended up killing her.
Is it the same tie? Did she just revive herself? Like, did she...
We thought she was dead.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So,
She was
she
in
died.
the ground.
Hello.
And then I don't draw.
I'm still.
Right.
It's fine.
I'm not dead.
All right.
Hello?
Okay. Animals continue to haunt my family.
Oh, no.
The butler over here, mostly because I'm tired of having to discard cards. He was trying to get some revenge. He was mad about the bear, but he ended up being taunted by tigers. I don't know. The tigers are in league with the bears. They've been going to the zoo, all right. That's where they've been going. You know what? There's been a tragic misunderstanding.
Oh, no.
I'd choose 2 living characters and swap their top modifiers. I'm gonna swap this.
With?
What does this one look like? That's 2 10s and that's Jesus.
3 15s.
Yeah. I wanna. Neil has too many, and Mark doesn't have that much going on, and his dog was pretty bad before anyway. So
As we last left off,
yeah.
running from the church, trying to get away.
Every day of my life.
Unfortunately, they decided to take a shortcut to try to lose the church through the swamp. And as they're running through the swamp, Melissa tripped.
Melissa.
And unfortunately,
That's
even
so
though she
Melissa.
tripped into a puddle that was less than an inch deep, she really doesn't know how to swim. I mean, like, any kind of water, she's done for. And she did not have her life preserver. So she drowned in a bog.
Oh my gosh.
One of the worst places to drown.
Yes.
Top
I-
3.
Really?
Top 3.
As it turns out, just a few feet away was a poor little dog.
Oh, no. Balthazar.
And you would not believe he just had the best day, because you know why? He found ducklings.
Oh!
And you know nothing's cuter than a dog with ducklings.
Little Balthazar! I'm gonna see a gif of you later. Lord Wellington Smith, the dumbfounded Duke.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a bad, bad man.
Oh, I see now.
He's very mean to children. He's stingy. He hates Christmas.
What?
Kill him.
Unacceptable. Christmas is great.
And to try and redeem him, he was greeted by ghosts 3 in the night. They didn't get through to him. That's why it's been real bad news for him. Now, when I play this card, I have to discard 3, so that's the rest of my hand. And
Wow, so you didn't even play something before that then?
Nope,
Okay.
didn't want to.
Ellis here. He's just a gravedigger. And, he's paranoid as hell. I mean, you feel like if you're digging up graves and for a woman who's been reviving her entire family, you sort of probably have some worries. And as he's coming back with an amazingly fresh corpse, I mean, like, it's the kind of stuff you love. He didn't realize he was coming in to the back entrance to the garden. And Grogar here, who, got his spirits up. Thank you very much for that.
That's what I'm here for.
After going to the circus, made trimmed some bushes like the midgets who mocked him. And that scares Elise, because he hates people with tiny hands. That's just not his thing.
He hates Donald Trump.
Jinx.
So he was terrified by the topiary that was made.
Oh, no. Topiary, get out of here.
It's The Shining.
Meanwhile,
I call it shine.
Lord Slogar, who's currently just a brain in a jar now,
Okay.
used to be the ambassador to England. And he's trying to keep his job. So he went to visit England and talked to the Queen. If you haven't guessed, people don't really like brains in jars.
How'd she
What kind of
react?
racism is this?
She told him some words I can't say on camera right now. Because he,
Mark will
therefore,
say
was
Yeah, I'll
cursed
say it.
by the
It was-
Queen.
There's some discrimination against brains and skeletons.
Yes.
Hey, man.
And the one thing, though, I'm really... two things, actually, that make me really regretful about this. One, they upped the box, so it's actually really much better. Like, the box I have right now is falling apart.
Right.
And I'm also regretful because I don't have the nice box. And I really want to play with all the expansion stuff now.
Yeah.
Probably because of the story I want to do, because I feel like I've seen a lot of these. Like, I know, I've been saying them. Mauled by manatees, kicked downstairs, the well.
We do have Munchkin Gloom that we have to give
That's
a try.
true.
Did that one have clear cards? I guess it must, right?
Has anyone opened it
I
yet?
don't know. We'll have to check it out. And there's of course. You said Cthulhu, right?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
you didn't.
but
Yeah, the Cthulhu.
That's
Gloom.
the one I would probably pick up first.
Yeah, which is a standalone and has its own expansion.
Right, but of course I'm betting you can mix them together.
Right. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff there, and I guess it's definitely. It goes without saying, any games like this or other games we've talked about, like Sheriff of Nottingham, where you need, if your group isn't into telling the stories, then you're going to have less fun. I mean, you got to find the right people to play it with. If someone has a good sense of humor and can be creative, which sometimes is hard, because sometimes, like for me in this video, I felt like I did a bad job because I just kept happening to chain the beast ones, and it was just like, those animals keep coming back. And it's
No,
like,
I mean that's fine, and I think that's,
it was funny
you made it
once.
fun. No, because I think you made it funny because it was just you were
Right,
laughing.
right.
And I don't know if it actually made it to because we actually had some filming issues, but I had a thing that allowed when I had a brain canister, the guy who was in a brain thing.
Right.
And earlier he cursed out the Queen. The Queen cursed him, I mean. So that didn't work out well for him. But later I made the story because he made up with her, but he actually was angry still with her, so she pushed him down a well. And what this card did was not only did it give him negative points, I could play an instant kill on him. I only had one instant kill in my hand, and that was death by fire. So I was like, how in the world did he die from falling in a well and then catch on fire?
I wonder, it'd almost be interesting for like maybe a variant if it was more like kind of like an apples to apples thing where like everyone else had to like approve your story, like you had to make it make sense in order to successfully play it. Maybe give the storytelling an actual weight in the gameplay itself. That'd be interesting.
I think the way you could do that, and maybe even take Gloom, but I think you definitely need expansions for this. And maybe take out the event cards because it doesn't work. Would it be more like what would happen is you take all the people. Instead of everyone getting a family, you'd shuffle that, and each turn someone's a judge,
Right.
puts a person out, and maybe they're like, okay, and they have to come up with a quick backstory for this person. Like, this person's on a beach, go. And then each person...
I like it. You could do a co-op mode, like everybody has one family and you have to like tell the story in order or something.
Something like that.
We just, look at that, we just gave you two awesome variants for Gloom. But
I know, actually, I don't know if it came up or not. I know someone talked about it. I don't know if it was while it was on camera. Was if they made a Gloom Legacy. Like, depending on how you kill your family or who you kill, it would affect the other games.
That would be that would be fascinating. Everything should have legacy versions. But the big game as it is pretty fun. It's a great casual light.
No, I
game.
really do like it for what it is because I am a fan of storytelling. Also, because we have the group that would support it.
If you have people that like that kind of darker humor, but not really too dark, just like
I don't know.
a little dark.
You can mind.
You could.
Because I mean, we try to, but obviously, I think if we weren't recorded, some of the games would be much.
I mean, there is a lot of
worse.
death involved, to be fair, but I feel like it's a pretty lighthearted darkness. And also, you could use this as a good kind of introduction to role-playing games, storytelling games.
And that's another one they should do.
Oh, Gloom RPG?
No, what I was just made me think of because we're talking about dark. Gloom adult version.
I'm surprised well, not that surprised, but yeah, there's a market for it out there. Someone will make it.
They'll just team up with
Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, Gloom
Cards
Against Humanity.
Yes, Gloom Against Humanity. Boom.
Gloom Against Gloom. Anything else we need to add? I think we.
Overall, great casual game. Really great if you have people in your group who actually like to tell stories and stuff, but still has some gaming elements. Lots of expansions, so you can always go. And if you're a Cthulhu fan, you could probably bet on that with any board game. There's a Cthulhu version.
Where could they get these expansions in this game if they want to try it out for themselves?
In their darkest dreams.
You heard
Also known as the internet, with in particular, rollforcrit.com, our website where we sell all the games, all the expansions, as well as have this video posted and videos for many other reviews.
Yeah, and we'll probably get to some of the expansions for this game at some point, I'm sure. So find those, and if you want to give us your feedback, how you feel about Gloom, let us know. You can leave a comment right here on YouTube, or you could talk to us Twitter at rollforcrit, email rollforcrit@gmail.com. I missed my finger. Facebook, Twitter, I said already, anywhere.
And of course, because of this storytelling game, if you have a particularly memorable story or death, we would love to hear it.
Yes, we want to know. We want to know your deep, sad tragedies.
But for now, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this has been a very gloomy Roll for Crit playback.
On this Roll for Crit playback, we go zap.
Started speaking in tongues.
I think if you play that backwards, it has a secret message.
In this Roll for Crit playback, things are going to get dark as we play Gloom.
God damn it.
I don't think you drown in lava.
No, you don't.
You disintegrate before you even touch the lava.
Yeah, lava is a very terrific.
Well, I don't know if you.
However,
you're falling from like 1,000
just
feet
like-
in the air and you go right
It's
in
just
the
like
lava.
really hot rock. Wouldn't it just like cook you first?
Yeah.
Pretty much, you actually float on it.
Yeah.
It's really terrifying.
But what if you?
That's
could
for another
drown
time.
in lava?
Visit you with his
That's-
with his very lumpy, malformed.
Woo!
Hey, that's just the story I'm weaving, man. That's my tale. I can tell whatever story I want.
It's your turn.
It's part of the game. You ain't worth it, son. No, I'm kidding. You're a very talented individual, and I do appreciate our
I
friendship.
wasn't expecting that high praise, but
Well,
thank you. I really like this game. It's a nice game to like play with your family.
Jesus.
Okay, so